Welcome to the Business Spotlight podcast. My name is David Beeson. I am your host for today's conversation, and my guest today is Montague Swanepoel, owner of CFO 360. We're going to be talking about his business journey to business ownership, challenges, best practices, and share a peek of what it's really like to build and operate a business. Monty, welcome to the show, and thank you for being here today. I would love for you to give us a little bit of your background of who you are and tell us a little bit about your business as well.
Hey David, yeah, great to be here. Thanks for having me. Yeah, my name's Montague. I run a group of professional service firms called CFO 360. I'm originally from South Africa, and have firms throughout South Africa, the UK, and now the US. Um, we work primarily with small and medium-sized businesses on anything finance related, from sorting out their bookkeeping to helping them make sense of the numbers, helping them navigate that growth journey that every business owner goes through, and then keeping them on the right side of the tax man while they're doing that. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
that's awesome, man. So generally speaking, what does your current ownership structure look like? Are you a sole founder and owner, or do you have a partner or they're outside investors?
Yeah, I'm the original founder, but we've grown quite a bit. We're a team of around 90 staff now. So we're four partners at this point in time. Each of us focus on different geographies or different parts of the business.
Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about what role you currently play in the business itself.
I jokingly am the guy that keeps everyone else out of work. I'm the guy that comes up with the next big idea. But I mean, on a more serious note, I'm responsible for strategy. I set sort of 2 to 5 year goals, help us figure out which market segments we're best at serving, and which type of business owners we work best with.
Yeah,
And
that's
then I guess like any business owner, one of my biggest jobs is finding the best people to join our team.
yeah, that's awesome. Um, so when you look at your role, how many hours do you spend working in your business and how many on the business? So like strategy, planning versus like, the job itself.
I thankfully we've been around for around 9 years now. Over the years, it's become more working on my business than working in it. That's a long journey though, and takes time. But yeah, these days I'm more in that business owner, business management role as opposed to being the guy getting too into the weeds with clients.
Yeah, I bet that's great. Getting to just mostly do all the strategy.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's a part of business that I enjoy. I am an accountant by trade, but it's not something that gets me super excited. I like it as a tool in terms of how I help business owners. That's the part of my job I enjoy the most.
Gotcha. Well, why did you choose to go into business for yourself as opposed to choosing to work for someone else? What was the transition like for you?
I think I wasn't cut out for corporate. I tried it, so went through my articles, qualified, worked in corporate for about 18 months, and very quickly realized I think I'm pretty good at what I do, but I enjoy a quick rapid fire environment a lot more where I can make quick decisions, move course if things don't make sense, and the corporate world just does not give you that freedom. And I think even being in smaller businesses doesn't always give you that freedom. The only time that you can sort of do that is to run your own business. And that's how, well, that's probably the main driver for me starting a business. On top of that, I really do enjoy working with interesting business owners. We work with the varying different profiles of business owners, and I love hearing their journey and understanding what they're trying to get out of a business and what's working, what's not working, etc. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, as you look back on your journey so far, what has been the most memorable roadblock or hurdle you were challenged with that you were forced to overcome?
Probably jumping back to your previous question on working in the business versus on the business. In the earlier days, certainly when your business is a lot smaller, a lot of your own time is in part the product that you sell, and making that transition from being the guy that does a lot of the work to the guy that manages great people that do that work for clients was quite difficult. And like any business, scaling to 90 staff is a difficult thing. there's a lot of challenges along the way. Managing big teams of people is difficult in and of itself.
Uh,
So yeah, I would say those are probably the biggest challenges. Running a small team of 5 people is very, very different beast to running a larger team.
yeah. So who primarily does your business serve? Like if I were in the audience, how would I know I was a good fit for your product and service?
Yeah, so we work with small and medium-sized business owners, and we've intentionally not niched down because I think it narrows your focus too much and helps us give a perspective to our clients from outside of the industry that sometimes works. So we service anything from mom and pop shops through to very fast growing startups and everything in between, consultants and the like. So any business that is sort of three to 30 staff that is not big enough to build out their own finance team, that's where we fit in really well and do our best work. And often a lot of our clients start even a bit earlier than that, but we do varying levels of service to them.
Gotcha. Awesome. Yeah. Well, why do your customers and clients choose you like compared to y'all's competitors?
I think because we take a very personal view on their business. So one of our first conversations with a client is often trying to understand what's their motivation, what are they trying to get out of this. The takeoff point for a lot of clients is great. We need to solve our finance problem. We try to go a little step back and say, look, what kind of business are you trying to build here? Are you building a lifestyle business? Are you building something that you'd like to grow or scale and sell? Because your approach to the business needs to be very different in either of those two approaches. And then I think, what the cloud and AI in our job has enabled us to do is to be a lot closer to our clients than traditionally accountants were. Most folks in the US, they touch base with their tax CPA firm once a year. Here's how we've done the last year. What's my tax bill? We engage with most of our clients on a monthly basis or at least a quarterly basis. We look at the numbers, we understand where they're at, what's working, what's not working, what is their tax forecast, where they're headed. If we see some advisory component there that could help them achieve something, we get involved. So I think it's the personal service really that people really enjoy, and the fact that we get a lot more involved than traditionally your accountant CPA advisor would.
Awesome. Well, I'm always curious what successful businesses are doing. What percentage of your monthly sales typically is invested back into your marketing budget?
We're on around 10%. So simply put, that's spread across mostly digital marketing. There's a sales component there as well that we push through. But yeah, a lot of our focus is digital marketing. We invest around 10%. It's part of the reason I think we've grown as fast as we have. Over the last 9 years. Yeah.
So whenever you say like digital marketing, do y'all mean like more organic, like social media style, or are y'all doing more like paid advertisements and stuff like that?
Initially, yeah, it's a bit of both. Initially, it was just paid advertising, so pay-per-click, running through a good website or a combination of page landers, etc. As you grow, though, you start needing to build on the brand. You spend a lot more time, effort, and money on the referral base, which is obviously a growing component of our business. I mean, I would add that our business is recurring in nature. Most of our clients have a recurring relationship with us where we do something for them once a year, once a month. So we don't start our revenue on zero. We start it with the set client base that we have. And our focus is generally adding clients to that base of clients that we serve. And so it's a different kind of sales approach to most businesses.
Gotcha. Yeah, it sounds like there's like a lot of networking involved. Do y'all go to attend any like networking events or anything like that?
Pretty much, yeah. A lot of networking, a lot of handshaking, meeting new people, and most of the time having interesting conversations. Sometimes we end up working together, sometimes we don't. But yeah, a lot of face-to-face work there as well.
Awesome. What do you think is your number one marketing strategy that has brought you the most business? Is it more the digital side?
Yeah, I by far, yeah, I don't understand traditional marketing, if I got to be honest. I was thinking of a couple of the ideas over the years has been mail people directly at their home and physical snail mail, and the networking works, but it's a difficult top of funnel type of sales process. And I think in our industry, clients don't like being sold. You gotta they want to be drawn to an advisor that they think can add value to their business. And so we don't take an aggressive sales approach with clients at all. It's I think to quote somebody, it's either hell yes or no, right? We're either good for you, or perhaps there's somebody else that would be better to work with than us.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, my background is in like digital marketing. I went
okay,
to school for marketing and also I went to school for film, so I kind of like blended the two together. So very much working like in
okay.
the commercial space and the digital marketing social media space. So yeah, I couldn't agree more with you that I think that digital marketing is the now and the future compared to more of the traditional side.
Absolutely. I mean, I haven't shared yet, but somewhere along the line, I got distracted. I do own a small marketing agency too. So obviously, we did a lot of our own digital marketing in-house, and it started working really well for us. And a number of our clients said, "Can you help us with that?" And so we're like, "Okay, let's see
Yeah.
what leads us." And so there's a small digital team with 4 or 5 staff in there that support a lot of the same clients that we work with on the accounting side as well. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting space. We learn a lot from our clients in terms of what works, what doesn't work for us, and I think it's also changing a lot. We'll see what happens with LLMs, and where, are we going to be targeting Google, or are we going to be targeting ChatGPT? In terms of how customers find you in future. And I think, compared to traditional marketing, it has its place. It works for a lot of folks, but there's few sources of sales as predictable as digital marketing, whether that's paid marketing or SEO of some kind.
Yeah, yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. So I know that you mentioned that you have a pretty decent sized staff, around 90 people.
Yeah.
Um, how would you describe your leadership style in business? Has it changed over the years?
Yeah, I think it has. I think every business owner grows as they grow their business. I was in a management position before starting my company, so I had a bit more experience managing larger teams. But my management style is I like to find great people and I give them a lot of agency. And we have a clear understanding of what needs to be done, and we give them the space and the agency to go ahead and do that. We try to not micromanage or get involved if we don't need to. Sometimes you have to. That's the nature of business. And we're a professional services firms. There's checks and balances on everything and reviews of work, etc. But for the most part, we like to give great people some space, time, and the tools they need to do a great job.
Gotcha, awesome. How many are there many leaders developing in your team? Is that kind of like y'all's strategy? I'll try to develop a lot of leaders.
Yeah, at some point in a business's life, you go through this idea of building middle management. So we've gone over that journey the last sort of 3 to 5 years. It's a painful exercise. Like, I'm an accountant by trade. I tend to gravitate towards technical, black and white, predictable things, and management is a lot of fuzzy feelings and what works and what doesn't. And there's 25,000 different theories on what you should be doing and shouldn't be doing. So yeah, it's a difficult process, but I think a few key ideas stuck with me that the best managers tend to be the best doers. So somebody who's great at managing, let's say, take your industry for instance, somebody who's great at managing a team of good digital marketing professionals is somebody that's a good digital marketer themselves. They understand the environment, they understand what needs to be done, they understand the difficulty of delivering that service to a client that's in a very competitive industry, et cetera, et cetera. So we've kind of gravitated towards not getting professional managers, but rather getting people that are really good at their job and giving them management responsibility. And that's worked out for us a lot better than taking the other route.
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean that makes a lot of sense. Um, what type of training do you have in place for your team members?
We're professional services, so there's training all the time. About a third of our staff are fully professional staff, so they're CPAs, etc. They have a continual CPE requirement that needs to be done. We also support staff that are busy studying, in terms of, especially if there's a remote type of study option, while they're busy doing their exams, etc. We support them through that process. Um, and I guess we're a tech first accounting firm, so we've been cloud based from day one. We only use digital tools. There's no paper in our offices, etc. And so a lot of our training is also focused on the tech side, and what they need to do to make, well, let's say the benefits and the pitfalls of using AI in your day-to-day job is a recent training course we ran with our team. Um, yeah, it's a constant part of our life. We spend a lot of time, money, and effort, um, yeah, on that, because I think it makes us a better business, makes our staff better at what they do, and gives our client a better service.
Yeah, yeah, I completely, uh, I completely agree with you whenever it comes to like building up, and I like the fact that you said that like one third of them you are like on the more professional side and things like that. Sounds really good.
Yeah,
Um, well, if you're cool with it, we can transition to a couple rapid fire questions.
sure.
What is the key to success for you?
Keep at it. Um, yeah, you don't know if you don't try. A lot of people are too worried to get started, and once they're busy, when it starts getting difficult, they give up and move on to the next thing. You often lose the chance of doing something great if you don't keep at it.
What is your one piece of advice for other business owners?
That's a difficult one. There's a lot of advice. I think don't lose context. It's a business. I think a lot of the business owners we work with, they get a little bit too emotional about their business, um, and they treat it like their baby. It's not. You can't be too emotional about your business. It's something that earns you money. And yes, sometimes you do really cool things and interesting things, and that's great. But you can't confuse that with being too emotional about it.
Awesome. What is a book or podcast you're reading or listening to right now?
I really love Invest Like the Best. They have some great guests on there. And David Sandra has got a founders podcast. He gets a bit hyped up about these things sometimes, but a good summary of biographies in there.
Yeah, I'll definitely check out. I've heard Invest Like the Best a couple times. I really need to give it a listen.
Yeah, there's a great podcast there now on Alpha School, which is a local Austin school with 2 hours a day, where they interview one of the guys that is scaling that business right now. Yeah, they get some great guests, really guys that are running big businesses or scaling businesses really fast.
Yeah, awesome. Well, this is kind of a fun question and and my favorite question to ask. If you had a little bit of magic dust and you could choose one spot in your business to kind of sprinkle it on, it would be everything you wanted it to be. Where would it be and why?
I think it would be um, making managing people easier. I think one of the things you learn when you run an accounting firm, you think a lot of your time is going to be spent helping people understand their finances, dealing with the technical side of things. And the reality is more than half of your time is spent finding good people, managing people, or helping them work through some issue they're currently facing. Um, it's I think for a lot of businesses that employ large numbers of staff, that's quite a shock, because you spend so much more time with people than what you think you would.
Yeah, no, I mean, it makes a lot of sense, especially as you're growing. You're going to be, you know, not going to be working as much on the technical side because you're going to be trying to develop and scale. So that way you don't have to work on that, but then you have to work with people probably three times as much.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's great. I mean, if you pick the right people, there's nothing, you know, at the end of the day, businesses are a group of people getting together to do something that adds value to society, right? And if you pick great people, it's really fun to work with them, right? You want to pick people better than you. It's one of those ideas in management that business owners want to employ the best person for the job, even if that person's better than them. because you want to upskill, that department. Like I'm really good at tax, but I'm not a person that reads tax journals on the weekend. What I'm going to do. But I try find people that do enjoy that, and make that's their passion, right? And that's what you want as a business owner is you want the best possible people in those areas, and that takes time, effort, a lot of searching, finding the right people, and when you find them, giving them the tools, the space, the support they need to do great work.
Yeah, and relating it to kind of like my background, yeah, my business partner, he works a lot on like the audio side, and for me,
Um,
I'm really good with people and like camera, but whenever it comes to audio stuff, I'm like, no, I can't do it at all. So it's like having him makes my life easier because then I don't even have to put the headphones on to listen to how anything sounds.
Absolutely, right. Everybody's different. We've all got things we gravitate towards, and it sometimes feels like a bit of chess game finding the best the best parts for that particular role. And when you get it right, it's great. It's always so much better than what it used to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, before we get to the final question of the day, do you want to share with our audience on how they can find you guys, how they can follow you, maybe connect with y'all?
Yeah, I'm very active on LinkedIn. You can find me on my name, and our domains. Perceptivecfo.com is our US specific branding, and CFO 360 elsewhere. Yeah, reach out on email, phone call. That's usually the easiest way.
Awesome. Well, we've come to the final question of the day, and that is what is most inspiring to you today?
I love working with business owners doing great things. And when it's a mom and pop shop, you often realize that business is one of the biggest levelers for them, right? It's something that puts their kids through school and takes them to college one day and does great things. Or often, exciting startups doing great things. Um, it's inspiring for me that entrepreneurship has this kind of power. It's one of the few things in the world that you can kind of decide what you want to build, who you want to build it with. You go and find the funding, the business model that makes it work, etc. It's really, I find that inspiring. I love helping some of those people along the way where we can. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Well, this was a great conversation, and I really enjoyed hearing your stories. So thank you so much for sharing. Also, I just encourage all of you watching to save this show, come back and watch it again because Monty really did have a some great insight for business. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so that you get notifications every time a new conversation drops, just like this one. Thanks to everyone who joined us today, and a special thanks to you, Monty, for being with us today. We really appreciate it.
appreciate your time. Thanks, David.
And I will see all y'all in the next episode.